The penultimate day of Cows Week 2009 started overcast, but with a bit more wind than the previous few days, allowing the boats to be set slightly longer courses. The SB3s were, as usual, first away on the white group line. This was their final race of the week, and the large fleet pushed the line too hard and caused a general recall. The SB3s start 20 minutes before any others to allow time for just this eventuality. When they did get away, the first stretch along the green required a few tacks in the light northwesterly before turning into a fetch, and those that started inshore came out ahead. Solent University had got clear of the chasing group and led the way towards their first mark of East Leap. Their 20-mile course took them around 10 marks in the central Solent. Solent University held the lead for most of the race, but lost it trying to carry their kite after Hamble Yacht Services and eventually slipped to fourth, 1 minute 40 seconds behind today's winners, 3 sad old blokes. It was their first win of the week, but it wasn't enough for them to move up the overall scoreboard, and they finished the week in 10th. Doolally took second today, but finished 17th overall. This week's overall class winner is ProVela.com, despite finishing 7th today. Darling Associates took second overall, and Spirit of Cape Town took third. The Solent Sunbeams headed west off the start line to their first mark of East Leap. They had a 17-mile course, and when we caught up with them as they approached their second mark of white vodka, Melody led Emily and Danny. By the finish though, Danny had moved up to first, Query took second, with Little Lady in third. The 26 Redwings always make a colourful sight, with their unusual tall and skinny red sails, but they never look really at home in light winds. Today, their second leg took them from East Leap to White Vodka against the tide and was quite a slow affair. When we saw them, Siskin was leading, with Musicus chasing hard and Skewer in third. But by the finish of their 9-mark 16-mile course, Skewer was in pole position. Skewer finished 1.5 minutes ahead of Quail, with Snow Goose in third. Overall, Quail has a substantial lead, with 1 day to go, ahead of Harlequin, with Toucan in third. The youngest skipper in the week, Fred Warren Smith, sailing the Squib Aquabat, led his fleet away from the start on the fetch to East Leap. Fred then proceeded to give the fleet a trouncing. He and his father led around every mark, to finish over 2 minutes ahead of the next Squib, which was Firecracker 2. Third today was Osprey, another 3.5 minutes astern. Overall, with 1 race to go, Bob Cheek's Buccaneer, which retired today, is leading. Polyphagus lies second with Osprey third, but tied on points. Young Fred in Aquabat lies fourth overall. The 7 Sonatas which raced today started at the outer end of the black group line. Ahead of them lay a 7-mark 14-mile course, which took them to the western Solent. We caught up with them again on the leg from Saltmead to Baxter's. The sun was shining, but the sailing was quite slow, as the fleet fought the ebbing tide. Jack Grogan, sailing the Apprentice, is comfortably leading in the overall results, and he was leading again today. By the finish, the Apprentice had an enormous 16.5-minute lead. Second today was Figaro, with an even larger gap to Zantz in third of 50 minutes. So the sun came out at last today, and there was just enough wind to cope with the large tides. But there were lots of very justifiable complaints about the courses, especially from the white group fleets. In truth, they were bad, with long reaching or fetching legs up and down the Solent, with very little true upwind or downwind sailing.
Today was perhaps a little bit tedious, not the most exciting course. If you had a good start, then it was fantastic. And if you had a bad start, there was very little opportunity to actually recover position.
It was lovely, beautiful sunny day, gentle wind, but they could have shortened the course a little bit earlier because we were left out there for like 6 hours by the time we finished. We were almost going to get the oars out at the end because there was no wind, there was 100 yards to go to the finishing line, and you're feeling a little tired. It's a long day.
Today was a bit tedious because obviously the weather went, and it was a bit of a drifting match. As ever with the XADs, there was a bit of jiggery-pokery around some of the marks. A couple of people a bit rusty on the rules, which is quite frustrating from time to time. But it's been good fun, and hey, the sun was shining, so it was all good.
Tonight sees the famous Cows Week fireworks display, which the event director assures us will be great.
We're very lucky in that we've got one very kind, very generous person who is paying for the display itself, and all the other donors are paying for the infrastructure to make it happen. And I know that the display itself is going to be even bigger and better than normal.
Well, that's it from us for today. We're off to watch the fireworks. Join us tomorrow for the final day of Cows Week 2009 and see who are the winners and losers among the 37 classes which have made up the week. See you then.